Hi everyone, hope you're having a good day or week or whatever it is, and I hope you enjoyed last week's talk. This week we're going to talk about limiting beliefs, which is going a little bit deeper into what we talked about last week. And just so you have an idea of what they are to start with, things like only greedy people want to be rich, I could never start a business, I could never speak in public. Just these rules that we've created for our lives that we're living by. And they're sort of like obstacles or thought patterns that are really holding us back from living our best lives. So, we're going to look at some ways to overcome those and, how to move forwards. So, what we say to ourselves is what we will do or what we believe. So if we say that we can do something, we will do it. If we say we can't do something, we won't do it. So it's pretty simple. So we need to start thinking about the words that we are saying to ourselves, just like we talked about last week. And these limiting beliefs form because when we're younger, we experience things for the first time. We hear our parents talk about things and we start to kind of create this blueprint for our lives. And then as we grow, we have different experiences that either challenge those beliefs, in which case we change them, or they reinforce them and they kind of get stronger and become our rules. And then as we're adults, we're still hanging on to these beliefs that were made when we were children. And they're not all benefiting us. So we need to make sure we change them. And this first came around for me when I started to hear about limiting beliefs. And I realized that I had created these rules that I just kind of accepted and were living by. And then I realized that other people did not follow these rules. And they actually had created rules that empowered them. So whereas I had silly rules like, say if something was, I was out for dinner and something like was wrong with my meal, so something had come out like undercooked or overcooked, I would just ignore it because I wouldn't want to offend anybody. Okay, whereas other people would, their rule would be you've paid for it, you'd get it replaced, and there was nothing wrong with it. But I would kind of sit with this fact that like, no, I wouldn't want to offend. Or another one, which was really massive for me, was that I couldn't start a business. Okay, so that was one of the first ones that I picked up on because I was looking and saying, they think they can, they think they can, they think they can. Why have I all of a sudden decided that it's too risky, it's too hard, it's going to be stressful, I don't have a business mind or a financial mind. People like me and my family just don't do that sort of thing. And so I started to kind of challenge it, and I started talking to people about what they were doing, the steps they had taken and what it was like for them. And I started to take little steps. I started meditating on it, visualizing what I wanted it to look like, and step by step, I made it happen. I ended up creating this business and it was successful and I actually really enjoyed doing it. So it was a really positive experience. And now, thank goodness, I have destroyed that old limiting belief and I've replaced it with one that is going to empower me a lot more than before. So hopefully you can start to think, actually, maybe I do have some beliefs that are not helping me to succeed. And some of the ones that I'm going to actually read them, that's all right, that most people have are things like rich people are dishonest or greedy, or like spiritual people shouldn't want to talk about money or want money, and then there's lots of other things about relationships, like I don't want to let anyone in because I'm just going to end up getting hurt. Relationships always end, so in a way, why start them? I don't want to ask for what I want because I'll just end up being rejected, and that was a big one that I've worked on as well. And then there's things like I'm too old to do this because, or I'm not smart enough, I'm not connected enough to be able to start this up, no one cares about what I have to say, people like me can't have things like that, and the list goes on. So as you can tell, it's pretty important that we start to notice which one of these beliefs we have, because we do not have to live our life this way. If I was to suggest a way to start, it would be to probably find an area of your life that you're not fully satisfied in at the moment. So it might be financial, relationships, work, anything. And then pick an area that you think would be most beneficial to you right now. So it might be financial, for example, and you might think, well, actually, I'm going to think about all the limiting beliefs that I have about that, or all the beliefs, and then pick out the ones that don't work for you. So things like we talked about, people like us don't have a lot of money, or whenever I get money I lose it, or if we have money bad things happen, or people get angry, or people want to take it from me, or you lose friends when you're rich. So just start pulling apart some of those beliefs, write them down, and then the next step on that is to think about, where did it start? Okay, so like, did someone say something? Can you remember the point where it started? And Marisa Peer does a really great sort of hypnotherapy session where she takes you back and really tries to pinpoint where that happened. And then what you want to do is replace it. So even if you can't think about where it stemmed from, it's fine. Figure out what it is. That's the biggest first step. Replace it with a belief that is going to benefit you. So if it is, for example, for my one, I cannot start a business, I don't know how to, that is now white. My new belief is, I can start a business, I can have many successful businesses, and it can be an enjoyable process. And that is what I believe, that is what I tell myself now. So if you want to know more about sort of the next steps after that, let me know and I can create a new video or something, and or just contact me personally and we can talk about what else you can do. But yeah, I hope you're feeling inspired to actually just take that first step. And it might even just be planting the seed of thinking about it, because once you start thinking about it, you're already actually starting to change that belief a bit. You're already starting to think, maybe this isn't correct, and from then on you're going to start changing them anyway. So I wish you luck with this, and yeah, I look forward to talking to you next week. Right, bye.